All right, all right. Howdy, my friends. Good morning and welcome to Coffee and Crafts with John here on ProCraps. Get the light back there on. Yeah, that's a little better. So good morning. How we doing? Happy Tuesday, everybody. Let's get to it here. We got a few things to cover. I actually got a really, I think, interesting theory that I want to share with you today. We're gonna talk in a little bit about this idea that I've got on playing the 6 or 8 instead of the 7. I think that you're gonna like this one. I don't know that my math is perfect on this yet. It's just a theory I thought of over the weekend. I thought, let's just talk about it and see what it looks like out there on the table. So give us a few minutes here to get through the opening, and then we'll switch gears and take a look at this idea that I've got. But in the meantime, let's get to the announcements and recaps here. So, oh boy, that's weird. Why the heck does it show up out of nowhere like that? Oh, you know why? Because yesterday I had it on. Anyway, here we go. Daily paycheck. Yesterday we won a little bit of money, a couple $100. It was good. We had a good day yesterday. We still need to calculate Friday's loss. So the total for this strategy, it's now been 5 days plus yesterday. So 6 days total. We're 4-1. And I know it's weird because there's a day missing out of the total there. So I will get the day back in at some point here. I gotta watch the whole Friday video and get the actual numbers for it. Like where I actually screwed up, lock that in, figure out what the loss would have been and all that kind of stuff. But at this point, taking that out of it, we're 4-1. Out of the gate, Friday makes this strategy 5-1 because we did, I know, win a paycheck on Friday. We're 5-1 on the 6, 7, 8, which is really solid. And the one loss was one of those, you know how it goes, right? You're going to have the nightmare run. It takes all your money. So far so good. I'll make this point here in a minute too. We're going to need 3 trackers because this came up, and I know all of you don't watch it. I know you get the recap here every day. You don't all watch the daily paycheck live as it happens. But yesterday, the Justice Jen brought up a really good point, and I know that there has been this kind of angst with all of you on that show, which is it's like a show without a purpose kind of thing. And I think I'm trying to serve a couple of masters here at the same time. And what I mean by that is, I want to build a bankroll. I want to go from $10,000 to $100,000, right? And I want to show that you can do that with discipline and with careful, conservative play. You don't have to hit a bunch of home runs to get there. The home runs help, but I want to prove that you can, I don't want to say grind your way, but through careful, disciplined play with good strategies that don't go insane and put you at too much risk, you can build a bankroll. Maybe it'll take a year to go from 10 to 100. Maybe it'll take a year and a half. I don't know. But you can totally do it. I want to prove that it's possible to do it. That's part of my theorem. Let's prove that it's possible. The other part of that is which strategies are the ones, right? That's why I do the same strategy pretty mechanically for about a month to show you that this strategy is or is not reliable, right? And also to show you which strategies, where the holes are in these things, right? Ken does a show called Can I Beat It? Ken from Ken Knows Gambling. I was going to do a show here for a while called Stop Loss Zero. Essentially, this show is the Stop Loss Zero show. It's can a strategy work 20 days in a row? How often does it go to zero? And on the days where it has trouble, where is the trouble coming from? And I think 6, 7, 8 sounds great when it works, but I want you to see where the danger zones are. And that's why I do it this way. So what we're going to track and report on here is the strategy itself's win percentage, what you see up there, 4-1, 5-1, whatever the win percentage for a given strategy is. That's, I think, critically important to know how reliable a strategy can get us to a goal. I think also, separately, I'm going to track the excess. So let's say that we have a day like yesterday where I won $200. I locked up 150. I played with 50, my excess. With the excess, we played it out. And we did the rack half, play half. So if I won $10, I'd rack 10, play 10. Won $15, rack, 5 or 6, whatever. We did that. I think it's important to know what kind of excess strategy I used and how that did, because that's a separate thing. That helps us build the bankroll, but it doesn't help us tell the story of the strategy. And I think part of the story of these strategies is the compounded interest thing, right? So if I have $1,200, like I have been, and I win it to where I'm at $1,500 or $2,000 in profit, well, guess what? My buy-in is now $1,500, not $1,200. And I can make bigger bets, and the process, the build happens faster. You follow what I'm saying? So that's part of the goal here. It's A, what strategies are most reliable, right? What can win 90% or 95% versus 80%? I think it's an important thing to know. I think it's important to know which strategies allowed us to play with excess more often. The Dolly Ladderson gave us 1 day to play with excess. That thing is a grind to the end, and we had 1 day. Luckily, that day was a home run. This one, we've played with excess profit 4 times or 3 times already, right? It's giving us more chances at the excess, which I think is cool. That's actually a positive for the 6, 7, 8. So I think that's important for us to track as a separate thing. And of course, we're gonna track the master bankroll totals as we go. And I think those are the 3 trackers that I want to keep in mind kind of as we go. Now, the excess plan itself, I think, came up yesterday too, and I want to talk about this. We're gonna ideally play half and rack half. That is the prescribed way. It's the John Patrick system. I've done this for years. Ken's been talking about it. When you get into excess, when you say, my goal was $100, let's say, and I win 200. Well, I'm going to rack 50, so I'm saving over my goal. I'm going to play with the $50. If the $50, if I make it win 70, guess what? I'm going to rack 20 of that or 15 of that and play with 60 the next time. If that wins $30, I'm going to rack 15 and play with 75. You're going to keep on stashing half and playing with a bigger half and let the excess kind of build its own steam. That's an important thing to do. I think that's a great way to keep locking and keep building. It's conservative, and it's a really good way to do excess gameplay when you're making money. However, if our excess is only $50, like yesterday, we won like $190, whatever it was. If all you have is $50 in excess, you can't rack 20 and play 30, or you're fooling yourself. When it's that low, we're just going to play the excess, and sometimes we're going to burn it. I burned it a couple times this week trying it. That's fine, but I think at a minimum, $50 to get a horseman going or get some 44 inside action going, you need that to go, and then we're just going to do that. Rack half, play half. Now the options we have, let our strategy ride. Like the 6, 7, 8. If I'm rocking the 6, 7, 8, and we've made our $200, and I've got $48 bets out there, I could regress and stash more, or just let the thing keep going on its own steam. Right? That's an option for us. Right? We can regress back down to the minimum and start it over again. I could switch gears and go across. There's so many things you can do. We'll evaluate that every day. Jen had asked me to play the same thing every day on excess. I think the amount of excess you have dictates that. If I have only $40, the best I can do is a horseman. I can't even go inside. If I have $50, I can choose to go inside or some sort of a come ladder type of thing. We have to just kind of play it as the bankroll dictates it as you're feeling it goes. So that's going to be a kind of a game time decision, I think, all the time. But I think if we stick to our goal, mechanical strategy to get to goal, we report on the strategy's baseline success. If we use our excess in a prescribed smart way in terms of bankroll management, strategy aside, and track that separately, that's 2 metrics, right? Strategy success, excess success, and the result of that is a bankroll build at the end. I think all that's going to be pretty good. Actually, we should get a pretty good look from excess play. What's a good short game plan, or what's a good short stack plan? So that's going to help us, I think, as well. So there's the paycheck sort of plan. I got more to say on that here in a minute. As far as news goes, reminder: Friday Night Fights. It'll be Sith Lord, the new champ, returning champ, versus Eddie E. Hydra on Friday night. And again, tracking for daily paycheck. I'm writing some new software for this. So as you know, on Casino Gaming TV, we've got the Tools tab. In the Tools tab, you've got your roll tracker, which if you log into CGTV, you've got your own roll tracker. The same one that I use every day, you got your own version of that. I'll show it to you if you want to see it. You've also got your own bankroll manager if you want to use that. The same one that I use. I'll show you that in a minute. And you've got, what else is in there as a tool? I forget the other tool that I've got in there. I'm going to add some more tools to it. Let me actually, you know what? Let me show you what it looks like. Give me a second here to launch my browser. I do want you to see the tools that you have if you don't know this. Everybody here has got, let's slide this over here. Everybody here, you've all got, give me a second, boom, boom, accounts, right? If you're on our Discord, if I go to casinogaming.tv, let me switch the screen for us. You've all got accounts. If you have a Discord account, you can just click the green login button and you're logged into the website here, right? If you go to your Tools tab, you've got the 401g account manager, right? I'm using this right now. This is our balance. We have 11,456. We start with 10,000. We're up $1,500. This is my envelopes that Ken would use, right? As we win in the daily paycheck, I'm putting money into the master bankroll every day. I'm depositing money into this fake account. I could track my expenses, excess, whatever. As you're managing your actual live gambling accounts, you can use this. And although you have a real bank account, you could use this to kind of simulate visually where you are with your gambling funds. This is a free tool that I wrote for you. Merry Christmas. You also have this great roll tracker. And the roll tracker lets you enter in the rolls. Let's say I got a 5, 2, 7, and let's just run through it, right? I got a 1, 2, 3, I got aces. Look at the ATS lighting up. The ATS bubbles here light up as I roll them out. We got a 6, 5, yo. Let's see, a 6, 5, yo. We got a 4, 6, 10. If I get a 5, 1, 6, look at that, 5 times in a row, there it goes. Look at that, the 6 turns green because we hit the repeater bet on it, right? It's got all the features that you could want. And this lasts forever. This tracks the current shooter, your aggregate for all your shooters, your SRR, your BRR, your BSR, your roll quality score, which is a calculation of how good of a roll it was in terms of score hits, that kind of thing. This one's got a lowish RQS only because the 6 has been equalized by the horn numbers. You can export this out to a file that, if I export it out, this file here, if I allow the pop-up, allow always, this will export a file that can be imported into WinCraps, right? And we can load up WinCraps and do our stuff. You've got this tool available to you. I'm going to make you a new tool here that'll be tracking the bankroll build. So if you want to track your own strategy performance and your own excess performance like I'm doing, I'm going to make a tool for you that'll do that. So that's coming soon to a computer near you. Give me about a week or so to write the code for that, and you'll have a tracker there that we can type in like the day, the strategy, the win percentage, the day, the strategy, the win percentage, and you'll have a little toggle switch that'll say, was this my primary strategy or my excess strategy? And that way we can get 2 separate tracks of like, how did your primary strategy do and how did you do with your excess wins? I think it's going to be really cool for us to track. It's going to help me in the bankroll series, but it's also going to help you kind of manage and get a window on how you're doing. So that's coming. Hope that comes soon, and hope that it helps you out. All right. Remember, CasinoGaming.tv is it's a work in progress, right? But I'm busting my rear end to make that thing awesome. So hopefully you'll have more and more and more tools there as we roll forward. Okay. The roll tracker is going to get more stuff. It'll have the chi-square testing in it. It's going to have some other features that I personally need. It's not a replacement for Bone Tracker. Bone Tracker's got so much stuff in it that I'll never ever be able to code out. I think for my purposes, I don't need all that. For folks like Ed and the other guys that are really going at it hard on the DI front, they need that data. For my purposes, I'm just looking to get generalized graphing. So that's that. There's that. Yeah, the roll tracker on your phone might be a little iffy. I got to work through it. I got to work through it. I have been working so much on the desktop with it. The phone version of it, I think, because the menu gets squished down a little bit. So I got to do some of those, some work on that. So there it is. All right, there's the news on that stuff. Now let's jump ahead here and talk about this theory that I've got. So I got a theory that, hear me out here, okay? Betting only the 6 or the 8 versus just the 7, in other words, a don't pass, might be just as good or better than playing the don't. And the questions that I got here, like, are there enough pros to doing it this way? Is there enough flexibility in it? And really, it comes down to one combination, right? The 7's got 6 ways to roll. The 6, for example, has 5 ways to roll. You're giving up one combination. But there's other nuance to this that I think is very interesting. And I think when I go through the pros and cons here, I think it'll be kind of interesting to take a look and really evaluate, like, could you make as much or more money playing just one of those 2 numbers? Like, because really, when you play the don't, it's the equivalent of placing the 7, right? Like you would place the 6. However, you got to suffer the come out roll, where just placing the 6, you don't have to do that. Matter of fact, I can turn my 6 bet off whenever I want. I can't just turn off a don't bet. It's there. Once it's there, it's there. I can pull it off, or I can place it for a second to kind of fake turn it off, but I can't actually turn the bet off. I can't press it In the motion, in the moment, you get one hit and you're out. On the 6 and 8, you get one hit, you stay there. There's lots of interesting nuance to this. Let's talk about it, okay? I'm going to go through here and say this. On the only the 7, look at our don't pass bet, right? Here's some of the pros, right? You're going to win. If you bet the 7 every single time, you're going to win 1 bet per shooter. There's shit, runner, go blind. Shooter's going to 7 out. You're going to win at least once. You might lose 10 don't bets on a shooter, right? On the come outs, but you're going to win 1 for sure. You're guaranteed that. You're always the hammer, right? If you survive the come out, you are always the hammer on every single roll after that. 60% win rate once the don't point is set. So that's a good thing. It's the lowest house edge on the table. With odds, you can augment your bet. And Greg says this a lot from 555 Craps. Greg has said this many times on his show. What other bet in the house are you the favorite on that they will let you add more money to? That's the don't. You can put odds. Now, the odds, you're laying them, so it's more money to win less, obviously, right? But where else can you stack money on top of a bet that you're already the favorite on? It's the don't pass. That's an interesting thing. And it lowers the house edge down well below 1% if you're into such things, right? You can use hops and hardways to protect it if you like. There's all sorts of things you can do to kind of augment and save parts of that bet, okay? The cons to the don't bet are this. The come out roll, we know this. The come out roll will destroy you. It destroys me every day when I'm in the garage. You watch me just burn those don't pass bets all the time. That's tough. Hot shooter will burn you. And as you'll see here in a minute, it takes a lot of resolutions to get to the goal. When we did the Dolly Latterson, it's a good strategy, but it takes 30 to 40 resolutions to achieve your goal most of the time. Unless you catch that hot run, a streak of outcomes in the very beginning, you're going to be there forever waiting for it to happen, okay? Let's take a look at what I mean by some of this stuff, okay? So first things first, on the 7 only, the come out series by itself, let me actually go to the table here. I'm going to zoom in and show you what I'm talking about on this because I think you have to see it, oh, not that view. You got to see it visually, I think, to make this make sense. So let me walk over here for a minute. Let me turn that light on. And really run through what this looks like on the come out sequence. And let's just take a $25 bet, okay? We don't need the rack at all here for this discussion. Let's just take a $25 bet, okay? On the don't pass, we'll put it right over here. On the come out, you're gonna win 3 of those. You're gonna win on the 2 once and on the 3 twice. You're gonna get 1, 2, 3 wins, but you're gonna lose 1, 2, I'll do it in quarters. You're gonna lose on the 2 11s and the 6 7s. You're going to lose all those bets. The net effect of that with this $25 bet, your wins, there they are, you're going to be at a net loss of 5 when all is said and done. You're going to lose $1.25 on the come out. There's no way to get around that, okay? You have options, right? You can play the 12, right, for $5. Okay, if you did it like this, right? Let's just put it back there. There's your 6, 7, 8 losses, and there's your 3 wins, right? On that 12, one time, you're going to win $150 more. Let's put it out here, $150. But you're going to lose $5 35 times. Okay, that's going to chew that up. That's going to be a net loss of $35. This is not a good way unless you get it early, right? If you take a hit on the 12 before roll 36, this 150 actually makes a little bit of sense. But if you get that 12 on roll 36 or after, it's a complete waste of time, right? So I don't recommend that, although I can see why somebody may do that. But here's the deal, right? You're going to lose, again, your losses get gobbled up. You have 5 net losses from there. Now, when we get the point cycle, and here's the interesting piece, right? The point cycle is actually huge for us, right? On the point cycle, and again, we got to look at the don't pass in terms of all the possible resolutions. So on 36 come out rolls, you're going to be net down $125. You're going to set 24 points. You're going to set this 3 times, this 3 times. These will get set 4 times each. These will get set 6 times each. What's going to happen on top? I'll put the money down here. Here's your losses on the come out. Over here. Over here, what's going to happen is that you're going to win. I need to get a bunch of greens here. You're going to win 60% of the 24, which is about 14 times. 5, 10, there's 14 wins for you. You're going to win 14 times to the good, okay? But you're going to lose 10. You're going to lose 10 of them, right? About 40% of 24 is about, I think it's 9.5, you're going to lose 10. Okay, where do you end up with when all this is said and done? With a $25 flat don't, where do you end up with? Well, there's 14 wins, there's 10, there's the 14 wins right there. All your net loss of 5 that you started with from the come out series and the net 10 that you just won. Let's combine all this together. There's your 10, there's 15, which is one more than 14. So your net expected loss from a flat don't period, your net expected loss is $25. You're going to win 4 1/4, you're going to lose 450. If everything goes perfectly according to plan, that's the don't played flat, right? This is why we talked a lot, right, about variant betting, right? That whole conversation about betting variant, which means altering your bets. When you're winning, you can pound them up a little bit, you grab some odds, that you change those numbers a bit, but just talking about the flat bet, that's the don't, right? And it does take all 36 resolutions. Oh, wrong screen. It takes all 36 resolutions to come up with the final number there, right? And that's an important thing to know. When you're calculating your win expectations, it's 36 resolutions. If you look at that, you're going to lose $25 over the course of 36 resolutions out of the money that you've bet. So 36 times, what is 36 times 25? It's, I don't even know, 36 times 25 is $800, right? So $800 divided by or 25 divided by 800. There's your house edge, right? That's the loss. The expected loss of all the bets is $25. Okay, that's the don't. And I think it's important. It's basically a coin flip. But again, you got to know how that all plays out. And to calculate it all, you need all 36 points, all 36 come out rolls have to be resolved to get to this. And this again implies perfection, right? Perfect set of come out. That's your expected thing on the don't. Now let's go to the 6 and 8. Okay. If I do only the 6 or 8, not both, one of them, right? Here's the pro. I don't got to deal with a come out roll. I'm not going to get whacked on the come out roll ever unless I work them. And that's my own choice, right? I can alter my bet sizing whenever I feel like it. I can go from $30 to $18. I can take my first hit at 30, go down to 18, right? And essentially that bet that's out there will never lose. I can put myself in a no-lose situation in one roll if I choose to. I can't do that with a don't, right? You can't with a don't pass do that, right? That's interesting. I can augment my place bet with a short-term hard way. Now think about this, right? On the 6, I've got 5 ways to win it, right? 5 ways to win that bet. One of those ways is a hard way. If I place the 6 for 30 and I put a $5 hard way out there, right? If one of my 5 wins happens to be the hard way win, it's a double win. I get paid on the place bet and the hard way, meaning in 5 wins, I may get 6 payments. Now, if that hard way win comes first, that's a beautiful recipe. If it comes on the last one, then I will have burned 4 hard way losses to get there, right? So it'll eat up in some of that. But if the hard way comes in sequence in there somewhere before the 5th one, you effectively get 6 payments in 5 wins, which just like the don't pass, you're going to get 6 payments. I feel like that almost equalizes it out. I know it doesn't mathematically, but it sure feels like it does, right? The cons to this thing, you have one less winning combination, of course. You only have one target. Now again, the 7, the don't pass, is one target. You're betting on the 7 only. Here I'm betting on the 6 only. And you know, I've got the risk of losing if I press, I can lose all of it, right? If I'm too aggressively playing it, I could lose the whole damn thing. But let's go back to our table and take a look at, again, what this looks like in the grand scheme of things. Let's take a look at the loss projections here, right? So if you place the 6 or the 8, here's how this works. And I think I've shown this before, but let's put it out here anyway. If I place it for $30, Let's just do the 8 because it's here, right? Place 8 for 30 bucks. What I'm going to lose here, I'm going to lose 30 bucks 6 times. I'll put it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losses of 30 bucks. Right? That's what we're going to lose for sure because of the 7, right? What does that add up to? There's a quarter, 150, 175, 180, right? That's pretty easy math, right? You're going to get 6 times 30 is 180 is your expected loss here, right? Your expected win there is going to be 35 times 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see that, right? Yeah. 10, 20, 30, and there's your $35. 5 times, okay? Again, that's 100. There's 100. There's 25. And there's 50. There's 175, right? You're gonna win 175. You're gonna lose 180. Your net down is $5. Your net expected loss on that bet is $5 over the course of the resolutions. Now remember, the don't took 36 resolutions of the bet to figure out how much we're going to win or lose. This one, you can know it in 11. 5 wins, 6 losses. In 11 resolutions, you know where you're going to stand with that bet. Now, if we add the hard way to it, the $5 hard way, how many times will that bet lose? $5 will lose on the 4 ways to roll the easy 6. So you're going to lose 1, 2, 3, 4 times on the easy 6s, and you're going to lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times on the 7. Okay? That's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks. That will win 45 bucks. So what's your net? Your net on this bet here, also negative $5. You're going to lose $5 here. You're going to lose $5 there. Through the course of the natural progression, you're going to lose $10 when those 2 bets resolve themselves over time. Potentially, though, the win here, right, if you get this win early enough, if this first or second 8 happens to be a hard way, that's a double payment. It's 45 plus the 35. Take this bet down. Don't bet it again. Bring that bet down to $18, and you can put yourself in a no-lose situation where you can't do that here. There's advantages to playing up in here, the flexibility advantage that you don't have down here. I think this is an interesting play. Okay, I think it's an interesting play. When I look at the whole outcome here, the play 6 plus the hard 6, right? Again, your expected loss is $10, 220 versus 230, and your volatility is a little bit different. You're not going to experience that soul-crushing come out so many times. So I think there's some merit to this. There's some juice to it at the very least, right? So I kind of want to give it a try. I kind of want to go out there and roll this thing out and see what it looks like. Again, as the more I play the 6, 7, 8, and I feel the rhythm of the come out crush, it's only one combination we're giving up. And I think that the hard way, if it comes, again, big old if, can make it up a little bit for us, right? So what do you think? What do you think? You think we should give it a try? I'd like to give it a try. Let's go to our table here. Let's zoom out a little bit, and let's do it. Let me give it a quick little run. We'll run a $1,000 bankroll for 2 players, and we'll just give it about a half an hour here to kind of play itself out, and let's see. What VIG, Jen? There's no VIG. I'm not laying the 6 and 8. I'm placing the 6 and 8. There's no VIG. Those are place bets. So let's do it. Let's go out there and roll it out. We'll do player A versus player B. There's no VIG. I'm not laying. Did I not say that? I'm not laying bets. These are place bets, not lay bets. Place bets. Hope I made that clear earlier on. There's no VIG. Let's do it. Let's go. Let me run back over there. Take my coffee with me. Give me a second here to get the racks all set. And let's run it. Let's run it. Run it. We'll see what happens. I'm going to get, you know what we'll do? Let's do $500. That's what's in the rack from yesterday, my testing. $500 in the rack. This will make for a nice quick run. This player in the back has got 4 blacks and $100 in greens and reds. I'm going to put him out there with a $30 place 8 and a $5 hard 8. Okay? The other player is going to go flat don't, period. And that's it. He's off with the come out all the time. He'll only be active during the come out. And what we'll try and do here is to the best that I can is track the loss. I'm going to put this here actually. Can you see that in the front? I'll put the rack there. And we're going to track where they lost. I'm going to try and track where the players lost and where they won, just to get a sense of it. So we can get I want to see how close we get to what I thought was going to happen. Here we go. Coming out to a midnight. Now again, I'm not playing the midnight, but if I had been playing the 5-hour midnight for this player here, there's 150, and I never play the bet again, right? That comes into the rack, and you never play that bet ever again, right? You hit it once in the sequence, you're done. You play this until it hits and you get out of there. That covers up, that 150 covers up. There's your $125 expected loss for this bet here on the come out. That completely covers that with a little bit of profit. That would have been a great thing. I didn't do it on purpose, but that's the reason why that might not be the worst move to make. If you can catch this before the 36th roll, before the 30th roll, that can cover the expected loss down there. But as it is, that we have to fight the come out roll again, and to our chagrin, we're going to lose $25. And there it is. And what I'm going to do here is take the black lammers, I'm going to lay them in the don't pass, and I'll put them on the 11 to know where we lost. And I'll put it up here in the box to know which numbers we lost on if we lose them. All right? And there's another 7, a 5-2. So there's 2 of our expecteds already. Again, we ought to see about 6. There's the replacement. Other players sitting and laughing. Okay, there's the 6. That's the point. Game on. Game on. Let's go. We got a 7 out. So the player down here wins back one of his losses. Okay, that goes back to his rack. I'll mark a white down here. I'll mark it down on this side, I guess. These will be the wins over here. These will be the losses. Or no, actually what I'll do is I'll put the wins here behind. That way we know which numbers won. That's the best way to do it. Okay, he's of course going to just get thumped, right? Back to the hard 8, back to the 8. Puck is off. Yo, 11, yo. Boy, oh boy. We're going to get all the outcomes that you want right away, aren't we? Lose that. Bet that. I'm not going to have time to probably get 36 come outs to happen, but we'll do our best here. Okay, now we're back on again. There's a 10. That doesn't matter. I can just roll these nice and fast because we're looking for just 1 or 2 things. There's a 6. It doesn't matter. We're just playing the 8, nothing else. There's a hard 10. It's 2 10s. 2 10s. And really, this experiment could happen with any one of these numbers, right? We're going to win or lose this 6 times, right? Or 5 times. Out here, it's 3 times and 1 time. It doesn't matter which of the box numbers you pick to do this with. I think the even numbers are the ones you have the chance to do it on. But it's the math is the same. It doesn't matter. I'm just looking at frequency of win. There's an 8. 5, 3, 8. Easy 8. So we're going to lose a 5. We're going to win 35. I'll replace that, and I'll put this back in the rack. We're going to same bet the first one. We'll regress the second one, and then we'll start half pressing. That'll be my simple plan. 1 same bet, and then we'll half press. We'll try and lock it in. There's a second 8, 6-2. At the second 8, on this one, again, $35. We'll lose that one. I'm going to put it back. I'm going to make this 8 look like $18 now. I'm going to take my 4 reds out of the rack. There's 18 with 2 change. Okay, there's his starting bankroll, $2 in profit. Okay, he's okay. He's okay for now. 4. Let's make that stand out a little more. 7 out. Okay, well that's cool. So the 8 guy comes in doing good. The don't pass guy has now beaten the 5 and the 6, which is what you'd expect, right? Again, we're going to lose some of these up here. Let's get these back out. Hard 8, 15 bucks change. Let's go. Coming out. Coming out to a 10. Boy, that looks good for the don't pass guy. Looks good up here, right? So far, he's got 1, 2, 3 losses and 1, 2 wins, which makes sense. Oh, I didn't pay him. I didn't pay him. There's the payment on that one. Sorry, I forgot that. 1, 2, 1, 3, 4. Now, and you can tell, right? 1, 2 wins, 1, 2, 3 losses. You can see he's down by 1/4. So we know that we know that my tracking is right. 8. All right. Same thing as last time. $35. We'll lose the 5. We'll put it back, and we'll same bet it. Okay, he's now $5 down on this shooter. There's a hard 8, so this is great. Watch what happens here. Okay, we're going to go $35 here. We're going to go $45 here. This one comes down and stays down. I'll make it a 1/4. Okay, that comes down and stays down. This one also comes down to $18. And all this comes back. There's that. There is starting bankroll. There is profit. And you'll see that the 6s and 8s, the resolutions happen quicker. You're going to get more, you only have 11 rolls or 11 outcomes as you're getting resolutions. You're either going to get this or you're going to get a 7 and you're done. This one here takes forever to get all the possible resolutions. Now we're done. No more hard 8. It made its money. Half press the easy 8 and see what happens. There's a hard 8, right? Whatever. You can call me a dumbass for not being on it. But again, I'm trying to get 1 extra win per 6. That's all I'm trying to do. Let's take this half press. We'll take 10 bucks back to our rack. That looks like $30 now. Right, back to 30 on the first half press. Love it. Love it, love it. If I wanted to be pedantic about it, I could say, look, there's my 50 bucks in profit. Right? Start at 500, I got 50 bucks. I could even say, well, let's leave enough over here. We'll leave 35 bucks on this, oh my God, on this side to run this gambit again. And everything else over here I'm going to lock up for now, just to kind of keep it easy. 6, what's our point, 10? Don't pass, just waiting, right? Waiting for the resolution. There's a 4. There's the midnight. There's the 7. All right, so we lose our 30, but again, that was profit play. He wins down there, and the don't pass player has beaten everything. He's beaten the 5, the 6, and the 10. That's great. So now he's 3 for 3, okay, which means he's even in the rack, right? There's his 500 bucks, right? He lost the 3 come-outs. He won the 3 points. He's exactly even in the rack, and this can be frustrating if you're a don't player. Which is why I say when I'm playing the don't, I like to press up something on every win that I get because otherwise you're going to be here. You're going to have this situation a lot, right? When these start outpacing those and you're a little higher up in here, right, you have a little bit of juice. Let's get it done. Let's go back here for our last little run here, 30 and 5, and we're coming out. Ace deuce, there we go. There's a win. There's a win. That's awesome. Let's put the white chip here on the ace deuce. So we got that one. That's great. Put the quarter back in the rack. Love it. Love it, love it. 4, good. Another favorable point for this guy. Boom. Place better is on. There's the 8. Easy. So far, so good. 35 bucks. We'll lose the 5. We'll put it back, and we'll same bet in the rack. And again, I'm looking to make it so I can play it again for free. I want one more $5 chip in there. Keep on playing this thing for nothing. 8 again. 6, 2, 8. 2 says dice control is not real. 25, $35. Okay? We're going to lose our nickel. Make it look like 18 bucks. I happen to have 3 whites, so it's 18 bucks. 50 bucks coming back to the rack. Now look at us. Okay? I can take $5. There's my next round. And I'm just always going to go out with the same thing. I don't have to worry about playing with excess here unless I wanted to go 60 and 10, right? Maybe next time we go 60 and 10, and there's our next excess play, right? We locked up $75 in profit. You want to think of it that way. Hard eight. That's awesome sauce. Oh, you know, I didn't put, sorry, the 8 should have been there. I never should have taken the 8 bet down. That's my fault. I'm going to post bet it. That should never have been taken down because we regressed up here, but that bet still hasn't hit. That's $45. We'll do 50. No, we'll do 45. 25. I'm cheating. I know I'm cheating, right? There's 45 profit. All right, here we go. Sorry about being a cheater, pumpkin eater. There's the 7. Now, and this once it won, I'm an ass. Once it won, it goes back and never comes back in play. That's a rule that we set that I didn't follow. All right, so now look at this, man. Look at the don't pass guy. He beat the 8, or the 4 too. He's beaten the 4, 5, 6, and 10. There should be a special prize if you beat them all, don't you think? Right? Here we go. $25. Now we're ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins. 1, 2, 3 losses. That should put us up 2 units. If I look in the rack, there's my starting bankroll plus 2 units. So we're up 2, which is great. If you're pressing these bets in the run that we're in, you're doing good. Here we're going to go again 60 and 10. 60 and 10. We're going to up our game. We're locking up 120 in profit no matter what. This guy's doing all right. Maybe it's our last one. There's a 1, 2, 3. All right. Awesome sauce. Awesome sauce. 1, 2, 3. That's a win. Let's mark it. Doing great on the don't. 8. All right, that's our point. That's fine. We don't care. Let's go. Now, I want the 8 to win. I want this guy to do well, but I don't want my don't pass guy to get beat. There's the 8. That's a bummer. The don't pass is going to lose on the 8. So let's mark that as a black one up here. That'll be a loss. I'll put it upside down. But here we're going to get paid $70. We'll lose our 10. We'll put our 10 back. We'll leave the $60 out there. We're going to same bet this. And again, there's 60. If I get 10 more dollars somehow, we can play it again at this level. There's a 10, 6, 4. There is the quick 7. Quick 7. Oh, wait, I didn't have him out there. Sorry, he was out. He wins on the 7, which is awesome. He beats the 10 twice. Our 8 player loses a big one, but again, that was a profit drop right there. Okay, profit drop. So we can do probably one more shooter. We have time to do one more shooter. What time is it? Let me see the clock here. It is 8:40. We're gonna do one more shooter, and then we'll call it. One more shooter. Beat the 10 twice. All right, 1, 3, 4. Back to the 4 we go. This guy here, again, I don't have enough money to do the big one. So we're going to rack that quarter over here, lock it up, and we'll just play it out at the $30 level. We lost our big try, and we lost this one too. 5, 2, 7. We beat the 4 as a don't player. Well, that goes in here. We beat the 4. We mark that up as a win. Take this down as a loss. How did our guys do? How did our guys do? Well, the don't pass player, 2 for 3 on the come out. This is actually better than expected, which is pretty cool. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we had 1/3 of the expected come outs, right? Instead of 36, we did 12, right? Lost 3, 1, 2. So he's actually outpacing where he ought to be here, which is awesome. And on the point cycle, we should have won 60%. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're 6 and 1 on the points. We're way outpacing up here, so that's good. This is a good run. We should have, all told, 8 units in profit, 3 units in loss. He should be up a net 5 units if I did this right. There's his starting bankroll of 4. And the one extra loss up here. I forgot the one getting beat on the 8. So he has 4 units in profit, right? Wins 8, loses 4. 4 units in profit. That's a perfect don't pass day. Actually, that day couldn't have worked out any better for this guy. $100 in profit. The guy on the 6 and 8, how did he do? There's 100, 25, 145 in profit. We had 2 hard way hits like we should have, right? We had about 5 or 6 wins up in here, which we should have. I did overplay the 1. We had the excess profit. I gave it the shot, right? We burned the $70 on that 1 shot, but what the hell, right? There it is. When you're locked, right? I was locked at $100 in profit. That's a profit play, right? That's cool. They both did about the same, which is kind of what we thought was going to happen, right? This guy happened to get the 1 extra hard way. That's the difference, right? They're basically even. He got 2 hard way hits. 1 extra hard way is the difference. That's pretty interesting. And I think that's a rhythm that we can probably all get behind. I don't know if it's mathematically sound or perfect or whatever, but like I said, that kind of came to me. Let's turn the light off there. Over the weekend, and I thought, why don't we just put pen to paper and see what it looks like and throw it up there on the table. So that's super low volatility play, right? You're not digging to come out or not fighting to come out with the 6 or 8. You can alter your bets. If you can have regressed right away, there's so much you can do, right? You have motion there that we could have done. I don't know. I like it. It's like I said, it's just an interesting thing. So let's call the show here. Let me go check out any PCs that I need to look at. Any questions you all had for me? Any things you want to say? Let's see. Jen says the roll tracker is cool, and it is cool. I love it. I love it. Greg does not get the logic of half pressing the 6, 7, 8 when I'm playing a don't for 7. I'm not sure what you're saying. If you think you're long rolling the 6, 7, 8, it makes no sense. The half pressing comes when you're already there. Like, in other words, if you watched yesterday, what I did was, I'm going to get the comments in the right spot. What we did was we have the 6 and the 8 for $30 each and the don't for 100. So all the bets, the don't wins 40 net because you'd have the bets up there, right? The 6 and 8 win 35 each. Once you kind of take a hit, regress them down, and then you half press from there, half pressing over time. When I do long simulations, if you same bet, right, the same better wins more money when the rolls only go 5 or 6, which is most of the rolls, right? The half presser wins way more money when the rolls go beyond. As long as you're same betting and regressing early enough to lock in, then the half pressing makes sense. The half pressing, you can make a ton of money in a longer run. And the 6s and 8s, right, when on a good long 30 roller, they're going to hit 6, 7, 8, 9 times, right? That's where your half pressing makes sense. You're setting yourself up for that. But you cannot do that, or you should not do that until you're already locked in. Like, that's the thing. I think Skill and Luck preaches this. I preach this. Don't go into pressing mode until you're locked at least even. Have your goal locked in. Then it's okay to go half press because you're always pulling back and you're always pushing out, right? Pulling back, pushing out. And you go from collecting a green and a green to collecting 2 greens in the same number of rolls that a same bettor will only have collected 30 or 40 bucks. That's the reason why we do it. You have options there. And everybody's got their own pressing. Again, we can have many, many, many shows on how to press. I think over time, from profit, half pressing ends up being the most profitable way. It's the simplest way. You're always collecting. You're building with a good rhythm. It's the most profitable way to do it. 1 unit pressing, it's a much slower build, so you don't really realize on a bigger roll, you don't realize the potential. Where a half press, you get the goodness of always collecting and also potential. I like that. And there it is. I hope that makes sense. Yes. No, this is the point, Jen. So I want to raise this because I think you're talking about if I want the expected numbers, I should work the rolls. No. The math on that is wrong. Let me go back. 1 screen for you here. The way that you calculate these things out, right? It's not 5 wins out of 36 rolls that I'm looking for. It's 5 wins out of 11 resolutions. Okay, so you're looking at what does it take for the 6 to beat the 7? Okay, if you take 5 ways to roll the 6, 6 ways to roll the 7, you put them in a bag. There's 11 combinations in there. 5 out of the 11 are what we care about, not 5 out of 36. Because the other rolls, the other whatever 25 rolls don't matter. They don't affect our bets. You only worry about the ones that affect your bets. The point of this idea here was to avoid the come out, right? You're only going to be active for certain rolls, right? You're not going to get beat for 6 consecutive come out 7s like the don't pass was. That's the advantage we have, right? So I'm only doing this 6 versus the 7 when the puck is on. And that's the reason why I think the advantage, not advantage, but that's the advantage of this way of playing, is we have bet size, let me go back to screen. We have bet size back here. Bet size alterations we can make, and we avoid the come out. That's the reason for that. I hope that makes sense. And again, the probability play that I'm making is only the 6 versus the 7 when the puck is on. That's where you get less number of total resolutions versus the 7, the don't pass, having to go for all 36 to get the final number of resolutions. I think it's an important thing. There we go. Okay, I think that's all I got. I think that's all I've got to say. My final thoughts. Let's go to my final thoughts here. Let's go boom, 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 down to the end. There's your question. You had no questions today. I must have explained it perfectly. My final thoughts are this: never stop thinking, right? Is that a great way to play craps? I don't know. You know, when I looked at the don't as effectively being, if you could do it, a place bet on the 7. You can't place bet the 7, obviously. To get a place bet on the 7, you have to survive the come out, and therein lies the problem. The come out losses, the net 125 in losses on the come out, is the reason why you get to enjoy the 1-to-1 payout against the number. That's the reason why, right? So it's a great play, but you got that danger zone in the front that you cannot avoid, right? With the 6 or 8, you've got one less combination. I think you can make up for that if hard ways happen to be part of the combinations that you get, like we saw today. The 2 hard ways wins, they end up being your 6th payment out of 5 combinations because you get the double shot. And that works out for you. That makes up for all that. You don't got to worry about 6 consecutive losses on a come out. You can alter your bet size to lock in and take yourself out of risk. I think that's a cool way of doing it. And again, don't stop thinking. There's no way to beat this game. This is not a way to beat the game. This is a way to play one bet and only one bet a different way. Instead of playing the 7 that way, you play the 6 this way. You're still going to lose in the end. It's about having some options in there as you go. I don't know. Keep pushing the needle, guys. Keep pushing the needle. Everybody keep trying different things out. And you end up with, hey, that's interesting. Now, the problem is you get cocky and you go, oh, that was awesome. Let me do the 6 and the 8 and the 5, 6, 8, and 9, and then we'll add and then you start getting way too much out there, right? 1 versus 1 is the right comparison to make. And that's why we saw both players win about the same money in about the same number of rolls. Now, the don't pass guy could have gotten crushed on the come-outs. Luckily, today we didn't. Anyway, I'm out of here. It's time to go prep for the garage. I will see you in a few minutes all. Yeah, that's it. Have a good rest of your Tuesday if I don't see you for a daily paycheck. But if not, I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Bye, all.